So recently on a live, a viewer of mine asked a good question, and I want to answer that here. That how come we can manifest some things in our life, but we are not able to sustain them? And often many of my clients that I talk with in my one-on-one coaching, they say that they did have a relationship with a specific person, but then something happened and things fell apart. And same with some have issue with money, like they were making good money, but then something happened and they lost it. And so I want to tackle these questions. But first, if you want to work with me one-on-one, the link is in the description. Also, you can join my membership channel where I do weekly live streams and answer all your questions in depth. So, why do we lose things, right? That we have already, we were successful in manifesting and then we lose them. Well, it all comes down, or it all boils down to the fact that your whole identity and your whole self-concept, the entire you manifests, not a part of, people think that just because I'm manifesting this, everything else is gonna be all right, right? This is where self-concept, and Neville Goddard used to say inner conversations, right? He was not into self-concept, but he talked a lot about inner conversations and how people have terrible inner conversations within themselves, and then when the fruit of their inner conversation shows up, they don't remember it, that they planted that seed. And the tree now bore fruit. So, here's an example, right? Let's say somebody wants to manifest love in their life, right? Or a specific person. And they apply imagination to live in the end, or they use affirmation, or any one technique they use to define their end, like this specific person is now married to me and we are living together happily. And now this has happened, right? They manifested the specific person. Now they're in relationship, and after a while, as the relationship progresses, the honeymoon phase, which is nothing but because we are so fascinated by this person initially, a lot of chemicals are released and we are high on emotions. But as we become normal to each other, right, relationship becomes normalized. You see some of their flaws, they see some of your flaws, and then for whatever reason, let's say you think that they are better than you, right? And why you think that is because you don't think you were worthy of them in the first place. You applied imagination, you lived in the end of them being married to you and happily married to you, but since your self-concept within yourself has problems, as in, now, it's not that self-concept is something that you need to work on or fix, right? It's just that you have a bunch of beliefs about yourself. Now, you could uproot all of it with just one assumption, that I am the source of my reality and everything is always working out for me, and I always get what I want. If you keep repeating that, it's going to uproot all of that unworthiness or all that garbage anyways. And I'm not a big proponent of the idea that you do the shadow work and dig everything and try to fix and sew the corpse back into a Frankenstein. But you must be aware of what you are doing within, right? It starts with awareness, and this is why self-concept is so important. Like, I manifested this person, they were in love with me, everything was awesome. Now what is happening with me? What is going on? Why are things falling apart? What within me is making the relationship the way it is, right? If you blame them, if you feel like a victim, then there is no power in that state, right? Victim mentality has no power for transformation and change. Is it right or wrong? I don't want to debate that. Every experience is right. You have had the terrible experience, you've been there, it has happened. Yes, the emotions were terrible. Yes, they did some things, you did some things. Yes, it was all true. But there is no power of transformation in that mentality, in that state, right? You can change nothing. You can only be a victim. You can stay a victim like that. So, let's say that you start reflecting from within now the relationship has problem and they have, let's say, gone away, and you start to reflect within yourself, you will uncover that you started to feel unworthy. Let's say you went to a party where they work, an official party, and there was this co-worker who was really into, really being extra handsy with your man or whatever, and from there on you started to doubt, you started to think that this woman will steal my man, whatever, I'm just making it up. And from that, and you accepted that in the first place because you felt somewhere deep down that you were not worthy, right? And this relationship is too good to be true or whatever. And because of that, you start living in the end like this woman is gonna steal my man or whatever, and then that becomes a third party, right? The dreaded third party that I have heard so much about. And I understand it. I'm not making fun of you guys. I've been there. I know what you're talking about. But see how it works, right? You have to understand the mechanics of why it is the way it is. Because the transformation power lies in an assumption. It's always you will never hear some magical thing from me coming back like, oh, you can do this magic process and change. It's gonna be always an assumption. By the end of it, to change anything, identity is nothing but a bunch of assumptions. But there are many assumptions stacked together to create who you are, right? This is why identity shifting and self-concept work is important in sustaining things, right? Somebody who has a terrible relationship with money can imagine getting large checks of money or a great new job, and they will get it, right? Many people get it, but then they will lose it because, for example, let's say they think that they have a terrible relationship with money and they start overspending because let's say they don't see an inherent value in money. They start overspending and then all of a sudden they go broke. Or they have this poor man's mentality where they don't even consider investing and growing their wealth. They just, whatever comes, they spend it and they lose it all. Or let's say they have a relationship with money that money must be saved only, never should be spent, and penny clinching, and that way they start fearing their wealth. They are like, I must save it, I should not spend it, I should not spend it, and they get into the death grip of saving only. And money is currency, and currency it comes and goes, right? It's like a wave. You cannot stop a wave. It's gonna crush you instead. So if you do not spend money, now I'm not here advocating that you go on online and start buying a bunch of BS. I need to put this disclaimer here. I'm not saying that to be responsible, but penny clinching and saving every dollar you have, that's also not the way. That makes you worship the money that you have, and you think that your supply is not infinite and more is not coming, and that puts you into scarcity mindset, and then eventually you lose that money, right? Let's say there is another person who has a poor relationship with money and says that I never have enough. It's just never enough. Now they might get a raise, they might double their salary, but then their expenses will also double, or some shit will happen and they will lose a bunch of like it will not be enough basically. So you see what is triggering all these other things are not being sustainable. So to sustain this stuff, you gotta examine what you're doing within. Now again, I am not the proponent of trying to fix everything, right? You should always at the back of your mind identify with your super identity, which is actually no identity, is just being source, like I am one with God. This whole identity is all made up. None of this is actually me, or this is not my whole truth. I'm multidimensional, I can choose anything. So from this power, then you start to build your new self-concept or your new identity by saying that I always have more than enough. It always comes because I am source. Because my supply is infinite, because I am the supply also, I am the money. There is no client, there is no other, it's all me. So I am just giving it to myself. I am identifying with this identity of mine, where I have constant flow of things, constant flow of love, constant flow of being chosen, constant flow of being worthy of everything. Well, you are worthy by default, so that's kind of stupid to say. Your worth, it's everything is given by default. It's just that in this human experience we are having this illusion of linear experience, so we do not see our multidimensional self and our entirety, which is the point, because this is how this experience is. But nonetheless, when you identify with your super identity, being one with God, as Naval Guard says, the Christ within, and as Florence Scovel Shen says, that I cast my burden on the Christ within and I go free, something like that. So basically you allow your higher self, which is you, is just, people have this misconception, is some other guy within them or girl who does it and it's magical stuff. No, it's you, it's your higher self. It's just that the veil of ego makes it into separation, but there is no separation. But if it helps you, you can say that my higher self is gonna do the handiwork. I have to do nothing. I'm just identifying with my infinite supply or my constant supply or my lavish, steady, dependable income. I'm identifying with an identity where love is easy for me. I'm worthy of all that is, all love, and I always get love, care and devotion from people that I give love, devotion, and even if I don't give. But I don't like this idea of this narcissistic sort of like, I don't want to say narcissistic, but reciprocation should be involved in SP sort of relationship. Like you wanna say that they love me and I love them too, right? So you create a relationship with them, a harmonious, loving relationship. I'm not into these ideas that they worship me, and even though that's cool and all, but it's my personal opinion. Like you could do that, but it's my personal opinion that you should reciprocate the love in mind as well, in concept as well, and then in the physical if is coming. Now I'm not talking about you unloading all your love on them and they don't reciprocate and you try to force it. No, please understand the nuance point. It's all whenever I say anything, the first thought should be is in mind first. 3D means nothing, is secondary, action is secondary. So anyways, when you identify with your super identity, then it's a formless, shapeless, you are pure awareness and consciousness, right? It can be molded into anything. Like it's like water. Water goes into a cup and takes the shape of the cup. So when you identify that identity, super identity, then you are like a blank canvas, and then you can add anything on top of it. Or you could also, I'm not demonizing shadow work. You could do shadow work and learn all the garbage that is within you, observe your mind, learn all the things that are holding, all the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and then you can replace them with more empowering ones. But it is far easier, in my opinion, to first identify with your I am awareness, your super identity, and then start adding things that you want in your life. And overall create some nice and beautiful words that you can say instantly, like for example, everything always works out for me, or money is in abundance, it always flows towards me, or money loves me, it cannot stay away from me, and love is easy for me, I'm magnetic or charismatic, whatever feels natural to you. These are just examples. And you get these bunch of words and affirmations or anchor statements, and then you identify with them completely. Now here's the tough part. It's not really tough, but I see most of you faltering here, which is repeating the old story. You cannot repeat the old story anymore. You cannot repeat the old story in mind, especially. So once you claim that your love is easy for you, you cannot go to your girlfriends and start talking about you know how no guy wants to commit to you and nothing is working and all that stuff. See? And you cannot, when a bill comes, okay, you may not have the so-called 3D money yet, but don't start complaining about the bill, right? Do what you gotta do. Do the things of the world of Caesar, as Naval Goddard says. right? Pay the tax of the Caesar, but don't complain about it. Don't identify it, don't demonize it, basically don't fight against it. And internally say, no, I still have, I have more than enough, I'm loaded or whatever, or constant flow is coming my way, constant clients are coming, my business is a great success, I declare it a success because I am source. See, so with your words, and this is how you embody your new identity. And just like your current identity is naturally expressing in your world, right, naturally, exactly the same way it's gonna naturally flow into your world, so long as you keep choosing it. Now people are like, but when? You're again thinking from your linear egoic perspective. You are multidimensional. The question of when should not even be asked. But if you ask it, I would say you keep choosing your identity and it's gonna naturally flow into your world. Just like I recently gave an example on the live, that if somebody starts identifying as that, now I am charismatic, now immediately they might not feel some charisma like Goku, like, you know, you will not turn into Super Saiyan and start flashing gold or something. But if you stick with your identity, let's say you go to work tomorrow, or like let's say in 3 days you have to give a presentation at work, right? And now all of a sudden you will feel this innate, this inner confidence to, you will basically, the presentation that you will give will be phenomenal, and you will feel the difference within yourself. And then you will see your co-workers tell you, like, you killed it. What has happened to you? How did you get so confident? I have done this personally. So I am speaking from personal experience. I was a very, very shy and timid person. And now I'm making videos on YouTube talking to thousands of people, and it comes natural to me because I have identified with that identity, right? So it naturally will express in your world. Naturally, the word natural is important. So when you say naturally, it's gonna flow like everything else. So when you say when, you are saying it's not here yet, and then therefore you're not embodying your new identity, right? Do you say when this guy is gonna leave you, or when this woman is gonna leave you? Because your identity is that nobody commits to you, right? So some guy or girl comes, you get the relationship. Do you say every morning that when is he gonna leave me? No, right? You don't have to say that. You don't even worry about when. You just say that something is gonna happen. Nobody sticks to me, so they are probably gonna leave me too. And then they do that, and it's all natural. It looks so natural, right? So the similar way your new identity is gonna express. Stop looking for proof. You are the proof. Your words are the proof. So you say, I am a confident, charismatic, whatever person, and that's it. Keep sticking to your new identity. Keep saying it. Keep affirming it. Don't repeat the old identity, and I guarantee you something is gonna shift in your reality to prove to you that you have done the work. It's the law. It cannot be otherwise. You change within, the outside world has to change. It cannot be without that. Even purely psychologically speaking, you don't even have to add manifestation into it. Purely psychologically speaking, you change your psyche, the world changes. And then when you add spirituality and psychology into manifestation into it, and Neville Garden into it, like, that's the law. So I hope I answered the question that why things cannot be sustained for some people. Self-concept work, and you embody your super identity of I am, and then you are a formless, clean slate, blank canvas. Fill the canvas with a beautiful painting, and then say, this is who I am now, and that's it. And things will shift in your world to prove you that you have shifted. So this is it for this video. Until next time, bye-bye.